And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interviewed, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name. From the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a Bengal snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth. From Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the, goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the, goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys. From the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again.
What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James. I'm back in the building. You know what it is. It's Commanders matchup. Washington Commanders versus the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen what Dallas did. They swept them last year after getting swept in 2020. Dallas came back and handled their business. But I think one of the reasons why we can say that defense has changed a lot of things, man. It's changed a lot of things with within the Cowboys. Right now, they're leading the league in sacks with 13. They're one of the top teams in pressures. I think they have like 41 pressures on the year. So that defense that was already being a signature thing coming in last year, especially with Micah Parsons, as you see up top. DeMarcus Lawrence had a 3-sack game. Dorrance Armstrong Jr. has come along. He has 11 pressures, I believe, in the last couple games. He's had 3 sacks in the last 2 games. And, you know, their guys are playing well and playing together. So I'm just going to give a few thoughts and a few things in my head that, you know, keys to the game, in my opinion, the things that I feel like the Cowboys can do to win this game against the Commanders as it goes down on Sunday at 1 p.m. But let's jump into a few things while I'm talking. So one of the things I looked at from these Commanders instantly is they like to throw the ball. And they don't like to run the ball. And I think maybe it's because they have a Carson Wentz now. They have a bona fide, legit quarterback. People can say what they want about Carson Wentz. Yes, he does make mistakes. Yes, he does hold on to the ball sometimes too long. Sometimes he's a little reckless in how he plays. But he still is a legitimate quarterback as far as he can beat you if you give him some time and he makes the correct goes to his progression, makes the correct read, doesn't hold on the ball. He can do some damage with you. He can make some throws. We've seen what he did when he came into the league. So it's not like Carson Wentz is not a good quarterback. He's just, you know, the offensive line, maybe the offensive scheme over there. Maybe it could be both of those things. But we definitely know it's the offensive line is not that good over there. And that's where Dallas can take advantage of it. They went against an offensive line that wasn't good last week in the New York Giants, and they had a tune of, 6 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence had 3 of them. 5 sacks. DeMarcus Lawrence had 3 of them. D.A. had 1, and Donovan Wilson had 1. And they were going against 2 young offensive tackles, one in Neal, who was a rookie, and they had Thomas, I believe, who was a rookie a year before. So Just look at a few things right here. One of the things that stood out to me is those rushing attempts. Okay, 21st in the league. Rushing yards, 25th in the league. So these are bottom of the barrel numbers. Okay, 3.7 yards per rushing attempt. That's saying your offensive line isn't good and you're not running the ball a lot. I believe Antonio Gibson is only averaging 13 attempts, rushing attempts currently right now. And we see that now. If you go down, when you scroll down, look at what the opponent is started doing to them. They're ranked bottom in the barrel as far as stopping the run. Okay, teams are averaging 5.4 yards a carry. That's good because Dallas is up in the upper echelon of running the ball right now. You saw what Tony Pollard did, a 100-yard game last week. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 75 yards, and their rushing attack has been what they needed it to be to carry the Cowboys in this 2-game winning streak. They run the ball, they're better. They had 27 attempts the first time when Cooper Rush came in. They had 30 attempts in this last game running the ball, balance on the offense and defense, and I feel like you can pretty much beat these Commanders. But if you go where, like you said, passing yards, passing attack, they got Carson Wentz. They throw the ball a lot more. But the passing average isn't deep. He can throw it deep, but it looks like he's not getting it because he's not getting the time because he's been sacked 15 times. That's 31st in the league. So, and they've only had 8 sacks. But they're still in the top 10 with that. So they have formidable players. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Montez Sweat. They have some players. Jamin Davis he has 3 sacks on his own, second-year linebacker from Kentucky. So they have some players within the defense and some young guys in the secondary. But these are things, like I said, you can attack these Commanders with, and that's the thing that stuck out to me. Also, Carson Wentz, if I go to his numbers right here, thing that stood out to me, his passing attempts. 41 passing attempts, 46 passing attempts, 43. Saying they're chucking the ball everywhere. They're really throwing the ball a lot with him, putting him in positions to where he's going to be exposed with that offensive line. I'm going to show those 2 guys and their pressures right quick. And then I'll watch a little bit of tape. I don't be trying to be the breakdown guy. Yeah, you know those dogs out there. But I still like to look at some of the tape and see where you can see where things can be exploited within the team, where you can see the pressure, where you can attack a Carson Wentz, where you can see you can run on them from the outside counters, getting outside on sweeps. They were doing some counter trades in there that were really opening up the middle. But linebackers were missing plays, and a couple of linebackers in particular I feel like you can expose. But you see right there the passing attempts. And then if we scroll over, this is what I noticed in these games, the pressures, the dropbacks. And the dropbacks against the Jacksonville Jaguars only sacked 1 time. Dropbacks in the Detroit game and the Philly game, 5 sacks, 9 sacks. So when they drop back and are putting him in a position where he's throwing, the offensive line is not good enough right now to really hold him and give him enough time, or he's getting a little skirtish, holding the ball, not letting it go. Those 2 things combined is causing problems within that structure. So the Cowboys really need to exploit that in this game. If they exploit it like they did the last 2 games and put some pressure on Carson Wentz, Dallas can come out with the victory. So we showed that right here, and I'm going to show a few other things. First, let me show you what this is the young guy from Texas. Sorry, I know you're from Texas, but you're not doing your job, and we like that right now. But let me go right here. This is right tackle Samuel Cosmi. You see that 9 pressures allowed, 4 sacks allowed, 3 quarterbacks hit. But if you go right here, let's go right here. This is what I'm looking at. This is where D-Law can eat again. Right here, 6 pressures in that last game against the Eagles. 1 hurry, 2 hits on the quarterback, give up 3 sacks. Let's exploit that, Dallas. And then let's go over to, let's scroll up right here. And let's go to the other, was it Leno Jr.? Pull him up. I got Carson Wentz again. Where is he at? I need to get out. Now they're pulling up the grades over here. I don't want to do all that, but might as well. We can do game reports. There we go. There we go. Game reports. Let's do pass blocking. This is in the last game against the Philadelphia Eagles. Gave up 22 pressures in that game. Obviously, you've seen the 9 sacks they gave up. 9 sacks. Say 8 with 9. Little Jr. gave up 2. Cosme gave up 3. And you see what happened right there. You can attack these guys. Center, Wes Schweitzer. Is that his name, if that's it? Look at that. Inside pressure at that center position. Bohanna. Maybe Gallimore. I mean, he had a. Did he play in that one game? I think, did he play in that game? They pushed that pocket, but the whole essence of this, you can really attack this offensive line. Okay? And as good as that defensive line is, it wears down maybe a little bit, and you can bust out those runs. You can run the ball. So this can be another game where you run past 30-30. It could be another 30-30 game where you're really doing your thing. So let's go over here. This is just some other numbers. 31 pressures that they have for the squad, for the team. They got some players over there, decent guys to keep an eye out on. Like I said, on the defense, we got to keep an eye on Montez Sweat. But we saw we had them fighting on the sideline. But Dallas really attacked them in the run game. And once you do that and you can really run on these guys, it can really open up things. Michael Gallup should be playing in this game. I showed let me pull up that scouting report real quick. I'm going to pull up the scouting report. I'm going to pull up the scouting report. The injury report, and then we'll look at some stuff right quick, and then I'll be out. All right. Where we at? All right. So, scouting report. Oh, I keep on saying scouting report. I'm so sorry. The injury report. Pull up this injury report. But Michael Gallup, full participant. That's good. So, we're going to see some Michael Gallup in this game. I ain't going to lie. I'm still worried. You can see it right here. Need full participation, though. You know, they said they wanted to see how the gauge was last week, and Michael Gallup said, let's get another week. So I hope he's doing it because he's well and not because they're trying to prove they were right with being out 4 weeks. It will be exactly 4 weeks, and then he would play. So I don't know if this is about the Cowboys showing, we told you we were right and him being out 4 weeks. Or is this just, pushing them a little bit too hard? So hopefully it's not that. Hopefully his knee is fully good, but looks like we will see Michael Gallup in this game. Hendershot, he had a couple penalties in that Giants game, but he made up for it. He had a really long catch, but we like him. And Jake Ferguson, Jake from State Farm, I think both of them had their first catches in the game. You see Curse may still be out, but Donovan Wilson has been handling his business, 24 tackles in 3 games. He's been looking like a heat-seeking missile. You can see the injury report right here for the Commanders. But let's go over here. This was that Detroit-Washington game. We'll just watch it. We just watched a little bit. Let's say we get about a good 15 minutes in. Just watch some things, and kind of go from there. But I think this is where Jamin Davis got a big sack. Like I said, he's got 3 sacks on the year. They wanted him to be better. He's right here. As you can see, I like how they set him up on this stunt. Washington's offensive line is better. Jared Goff is still Jared Goff, but let's look at some stuff right here. That was a great stunt play. You saw Davis. That was a great play. And, they've been asking him to step up and be a better player. And, he did his thing on that. Let's go to some. Carson Wentz with the quick dump off. When he's quick and precise with his passes, Carson Wentz can do his thing. You can see it look like they're playing a cover one shield. They don't really, like I said, they don't get the ball out to Gibson as much as they should. They should probably run the ball more. But once again, that offensive line hasn't really shown that it can really do its thing according to that. They sent that blitz up the middle. See, there you go. Aiden Hutchinson had a 3-sack game. You see that blitz right here come right there in the middle. He looked like he's going to his first read, and it was may have been there, but sending that blitz up in that middle, not looking up that field, takes that sack. There it is. And I watched Detroit in this game. I noticed they were getting a lot of good crossing patterns that they were getting off. A lot of slants, a lot of good crossing patterns. They ran for over 100 yards. DeAndre Swift, I mean, he had about 60 or 70 yards. But bring that tight end over, crunching down. I could see Dallas doing some of that. And like I said, their linebacker play was a little bit, this number 55 right here, you can catch him in coverage, and he guesses wrong a little bit in that hole. So get him guessing wrong, big holes can be sprung in this game. I believe DeAndre Swift had a big run in this game, and I think one of the reasons why, look at this, I was talking about that, look at that open right there. I don't know if it's Curl or Dirk Forrest Jr., but Forrest Jr. is a young starter, so he can be exposed a little bit in that coverage, as you can see this run. I'm sorry, the pass. I was thinking about that run, but you see, look at all that real estate in that open in that middle. That's going to be open in this game. But like I said, Tony Pollard can really Ezekiel Elliott had a good career against him. Soften him up, but this can be another Tony Pollard game. This can really be another Tony Pollard game. Get him on some toss sweeps. Maybe we can see some Jason Peters playing that guard position, because you'll need that size from Jason Peters dealing with those Deron Paynes and Jonathan Allens of the world inside there. That can really get some of his work in the phone booth. Connor McGovern may be healthy, maybe getting back. Maybe you can see some big jumbo packages, as you saw right here. But even under that underneath pattern, when they did that double underneath, you can get that, especially if you're rolling those two receivers and over top of the one receiver underneath it. Right there, that's going to be open. That receiver underneath going against that 55, that's going to be open. Let's get over here. Let's see some. Play action. A lot of pressure. Whole lot of pressure. Whole lot of pressure. And this is the Lions. They don't have no bad line. Once again, we see it's just a lot of pressure on these guys. And they don't stick with the run. They're not. If the run gets stopped quick, they're going to go in that shotgun. They're going to pass. They're going to put Carson Wentz to drop backs. And as I said before, when he drop backs a lot, he starts getting in that pass mode. You can really tee off on him. And this is a game where the Michael Parsons, Orange Arm Jr., DeMarcus Lawrence, Golston, Osa, Fowler. I don't know if Basham be active. It's going to be some people may sit out, but you can see what's going on right here. Now we got to keep off on the dump off screens because they will be heavy with that. I can definitely see them doing that with Curtis Samuel. They like getting him involved with those quick jet sweeps. Curtis Samuel with the bubble screens. Curtis Samuel out the backfield with some screen passes. I know they like Gibson, but that's the guy you want to keep an eye on is Curtis Samuel as far as what they're going to do with those particular plays. I mean, when I look at the run game, man, it's just really kind of basic. Like that center is not really going to get a lot of push. But look, clog that middle right there. This is where Bohanna and Gallimore can be real huge in this game. Bohanna and Gallimore, because they can really attack those insides and those A and B gaps. I don't see them holding off a lot of pressure. And then you can see on the right side right here, you can see those ends. You can get the edge off of them. Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, DA, those guys can really tee off in this game. You can see right here. I see it happening in this game. This definitely can be that game where your ends are really destroying this team. That's a good cutback. Biggest thing, shut down this run. Make them one dimensional very early. Make them one dimensional very, very early. Get them in those long passing situations, the 3rd and 7s, the 3rd and 8s, 3rd and 10s, because they're not average. Like I said, only averaging 3.7 yards a carry. So we want that. Put them in situations where he's got to chuck the ball around and tee off on him. Still, they start coming with that blitz. Okuda's been playing better, but you see they're coming. That delayed, and then you see you got that big safety staying down for that inside running back. But you see, those are things that you can kind of do with these guys, and that's what you want. Pressure. Look at that. Seeing they're leaving that chip guy. Watch the backfield. But Carson Wentz will throw. Remember, they got Scary Terry. They got Jahan Dotson, the young rookie. And he's been doing good. He had the big game winner against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So don't sleep on them with that. But they might start reeling it in a little bit and start dropping it off lower if that pass rush gets to him and start doing the dump offs. So that's where you want to kind of look at. But you kind of see, man, they kind of had the Commanders bottled up too in this game. Let me see. I'm just going all over the place, just looking at some stuff. And you know what I definitely don't want Dallas to be doing in this game because that's open. You can see those slant patterns I was talking, those crossing patterns, those quick bubble. The bubble screen can work. I think if you throw, I think a game, get some Cavante Turpin in this game, do some quick jet sweeps in this game with him. But don't go to 4 wide because you got the Michael Gallup back. Stay in those mass protection. Stay in those mass protections. Good play, touchdown. Stay in those mass protections and don't go the 4 wide or the empty backfields. Don't do that. That's not what we want to do. Keep it where you're not doing that. Keep it where it is mass protection. Keep it in where you can keep the 12 personnel and just Michael Gallup, CeeDee Lamb, your tight end. It's okay. Don't go to the 4 wides and try to I feel like it messes up the offense when you do that. If you keep it to where you're protecting Cooper Rush, keep that theory in thought, Dallas can win this game. I don't know what that was. I doubt if they try this again. I don't know what that was. You see, they keep sending that delayed blitz, and that linebacker is like he's spying them, like coming in that middle. Once again, they sent him again. You want him to go to that spread offense? That's where you can get him, just like that. That center is not making that read. Look, here it comes again. Spine him again. Don't be afraid. Come after him right here. You see it again. Boom. That's where you see that hit on that outside. Come with that Parsons up the middle. Come with that blitz package with Parsons up the middle. You got something going right there. You know. But hey, this is my quick thoughts. You saw the Philly game. They got after Carson Wentz early, and but it was really the breakdown of the offensive line. Plays were there for them, but the offensive line was really bad. So once again, that's what I keep going back to. Make them one-dimensional. Get Carson Wentz throwing that ball early and often. They chuck it up. He's averaging over 40 yards of passing attempts a game. So that lets you know they're one-dimensional. Make them one-dimensional. Get after them. You saw with that attacking with the blitz on the outside, delayed blitzes with Michael Parsons. LV ain't that guy to do it, but this is where you can send Parsons really in this game and exploit that offensive line. On the Dallas offensive side, run the ball. Keep it balanced. 30 passes, 30 rushes, 30-30 game. This is another game. Michael Gallup be back. Don't get the urge because you have a Michael Gallup back to start getting pass happy because you have him in a game and you feel like you want to throw the ball everywhere because you have another offensive weapon. Stay true to what you're doing. Run pass, 12 personnel, mass protection. Connor McGovern may be playing this game. Jason Peters will have another week under his belt. I think Tony Pollard can really turn up in this game, get him on the outside, some toss sweeps, get him out on the outs, and Dallas. I feel like Dallas wins this game. I said it was a 2017 type game. I think in this Washington Commanders game, I still don't see a lot of points Dallas scoring. I still don't feel like they will score a lot of points. So right now, I'm going to still say that I think they might hit the 24-point mark this game. I'm going to say 24-13 Cowboys over the Commanders. Maybe Carson Wentz may do something, but that's going to dictate the pressure. But I'm going to say Cowboys kind of bottled them up once again defensively. I'm going to go 24-13. Could be a 24-20 game close, but I'm going to say 24-13 Cowboys. Make sure you check out the shows the rest of the week.